I'm fighting a road runner. I'm the Coyote. You chose me. I ain't choose you. You chose me. So I'm gonna tell you straight the F up. You can go back to 135. We'll send you back to lightweight. You still got your WBC belt. You're gonna be fine. Shakur will fall.
Shawn Porter has completely changed his prediction for one of the most awaited fights of the year. He now believes Teofimo Lopez has the edge over the previously undefeated Shakur Stevenson.
Okay. I can guarantee you this is what Shakur is going to do. Shakur is going to come out middle of the ring, work that jab, work that pawn that he does, all that, the feints. He's going to try to touch him with the jab, but he's going to be waiting on his moments to snap with that right hand, waiting on his moments to counter, waiting on his moment. And when they're not there, he's just going to slide off, go for that little walk, restart, slide off, restart. Shakur is the kind of fighter that does not mind restarting. That was our thing, was once we start, we want to do the best we can to get away from another restart, because the restart allows you to reset, allows you that space, and stuff like that. When you would see me get broke by the ref, you would see me right back on, because I don't want that restart situation. Right. So that's what Shakur needs. He needs that space to keep restarting, that space to keep using his jab, keep probing, and keep finding tail. I think that's what the fight's going to look like for Shakur.
The stage is ready for a thrilling fight at Madison Square Garden on January 31st, where Lopez will defend his WBO super lightweight title against Stevenson. This fight is more than just a championship bout. For Stevenson, a win would make him a 4-division world champion and place him among elite fighters. For Lopez, defending his title would prove his strength in the division and quiet his critics.
We know that Shakur is very passionate about the sport. He's a kid that has always wanted to be considered the best in the sport. From the amateurs till now, he wants to be pound for pound top dog. He wants to be on Mount Rushmore, so on and so forth. Teofimo, I feel that he's had that passion, right? But he's had lapses to the, at times where he thought about even quote unquote retired and said he was done with this game. Now, I don't know if that helps you because it creates this chip on your shoulder as a fighter to keep continuing to prove the world wrong that you are one of the best, or if it psychologically affects you against a guy like Shakur.
When you go against a guy like Shakur reminds me of Bud Crawford. You can't have those lapses. You can't have that kind of mindset. And I think Teo's been very vocal about the things that he struggled with, and, he was going through a divorce, and all of these things were making it really, really hard for him to focus on his first love. But that's the thing. Recently, he said he came back to his first love. He remembers that this is what got him everything he has, and he's back in love with boxing, and that's what we've been wanting to hear. And when we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Josh Taylor. When we see a Teo like that, he's sharp against Lomachenko, and also willing to fight all these guys. Now think about this. I know we call big, heavy punches the boogeyman, but usually the boogeyman is the guy that's hard to beat. And Shakur, nobody really wanted to fight him. And once again, Teofimo Lopez is fighting a dangerous fight.
What makes Porter's change of mind so interesting is how much his view has shifted. Just weeks ago, he believed the fight clearly favored Stevenson, giving him a 60% chance to win and Lopez only 40%. But after thinking more deeply about the tactics, Porter came to a very different conclusion. He now focuses on the many strategies each fighter can use. This is where things get exciting. Porter believes Lopez has more ways to win than Stevenson. This idea comes from how each fighter approaches a fight. Stevenson is known as a very disciplined boxer who sticks closely to his usual style. While Porter respects this, he also sees it as a weakness. If Lopez figures out that style, Stevenson may struggle to adjust.
Shakur gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him, and eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what, let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right.
Mm-hmm.
But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what, I'm gonna roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights damn near. Man, What?
Nah, Mayweather wasn't running, bro. Mayweather was out there putting on master classes. That's not running.
He was not doing what he was doing when he was pretty boy. He was not bringing it to him. Come on, son.
Them hands was like skeleton hands by then.
Okay. Whatever the reason was. I went with the eye test, man. Come on.
So
when you go ahead.
So when it comes to Shakur and Teo, I feel like if it's not if Teo's not fighting someone that's being aggressive, pressing him a little bit, he taps out. And I feel like Shakur is not going to trade the way he did in the last fight because he knows he's going up in weight and Teo has power, obviously. So I believe that this is going to be one of those fights where he kind of fights on the outside, frustrates him a little bit. I expect it to be a fairly boring fight.
In contrast, Lopez shows great versatility, which gives him many ways to fight. He can choose a calm, defensive battle, using his skills to slow down and control Stevenson's attacks. Or he can switch gears and become very aggressive, moving forward with powerful right hands and quick left hooks that can change a fight in seconds. This flexibility allows Lopez to adjust his plan during the fight, depending on what is working and what is not. This is something Stevenson may struggle with because he sticks to one main style. Porter also imagines a fight where both men stay cautious, moving through the rounds without taking big risks. In that kind of close, tactical battle, Porter believes Lopez has the advantage because he knows how to take control of the key moments in each round.
I like what Pierre said, the twitchiness, that athleticism that Teofimo has is what gives someone like Shakur problems because it throws off his timing.
Yep.
Shakur is flat out amazing. I've watched this kid. He can find anybody's time.
Right.
So if you give him the space with just a lot of feints and stuff like that, he gonna still pick it up and he's still gonna find it. I got a feeling this thing is not gonna be boring and dry because I got a feeling you're right. By nature, Teofimo is a counterpuncher. He's an explosive counterpuncher. He does not know how to punch. He can't really set it up first the way that he can when somebody's coming at him. We already know Shakur ain't gonna have a lot of offense for him. But at the same time, I think about it like this: Shakur is an ace of spades, but Teofimo Lopez is a wild card. He's still liable to do anything at any point in time, and I just got a feeling that it's gonna be like a Tasmanian, like a hyena and a lion, and it's like is the hyena gonna be able to pounce on the lion enough to get the job done, or is the lion just gonna be able to make his moves, do what he need to do, and snap at him and get him when he want him to?
The legendary Mikey Garcia has also shared his thoughts, but his prediction comes with important conditions. Garcia says this is an amazing matchup, but everything depends on one big question: which version of Teofimo Lopez will show up on fight night? He compares the sharp, powerful Lopez who beat Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor to the inconsistent Lopez who has struggled in other fights. This uncertainty is the biggest factor in the matchup. Garcia also believes size favors Lopez, since he is naturally bigger and has more experience at super lightweight. This could give Lopez extra tools against an opponent moving up in weight. Still, Garcia does not count Stevenson out, pointing out that the undefeated fighter has special skills that can overcome size differences. This uncertainty shows how evenly matched these two fighters really are.
Great matchup, tough fight. I want to see what Teofimo shows up because sometimes it's Teofimo, the great fighter who beat Lomachenko, who beat Taylor. That's a tough Teofimo. But then we've also seen him, in off nights.
Right.
And so that's kind of the only question that I have. Which Teofimo's going to show up.
What do you think he has to do to kind of deal with a guy like Shakur Stevenson? How would you approach a fighter like Shakur Stevenson if you were Teofimo Lopez with the attributes that he has?
I would think Teofimo, being that technically he's a bigger fighter, bigger size, he's been at the weight class a little more and then just maybe build into it more. I would think he would have to use that, size as an advantage. But it's hard to say because, Shakur Stevenson fucking good at what he does.
Oscar Valdez adds a special point of view because he faced Stevenson himself back in 2022. In that fight, Stevenson gave a near-perfect performance, controlling all 12 rounds and even knocking Valdez down in the 6th round. Because Valdez knows firsthand how tough Stevenson is, he offers clear advice for Lopez. He says mental focus will be extremely important throughout the fight. Stevenson's style can be very frustrating, and many fighters have lost because they let that frustration take over. Valdez warns that Lopez must fully trust the game plan made by his team and stick to it with full focus, whether it's plan A, B, or even C. Chasing a lucky knockout or losing confidence because of Stevenson's strong defense would be a serious mistake.
If we go off paper, I would say Shakur Stevenson, but I would hate to say that because I can see Teofimo Lopez doing the opposite. And then it's going to be like, I thought, people, Oscar Valdez thought Shakur was going to win and Teofimo won. He was like, no. I think Teofimo Lopez, it's a 50-50 fight, in my opinion, because, Teofimo's been proving it before. And I got to emphasize this, if someone can pull it off, it's definitely Teofimo Lopez. If Teofimo Lopez doesn't do it, I don't see who's going to beat Shakur Stevenson. I don't see another fighter who will beat him. I know I said Pitbull, I think, because I think Pitbull came with some problems, but I wouldn't see no one else beating him unless Shakur Stevenson goes to 147, and then he's obligated to have some competition with I don't know, Ben Conner and all the other welterweights who are.
Brian Norman Jr. adds his opinion to the growing list of predictions. His recent experiences clearly shape how he sees this fight. Just months ago, the young fighter known as the Assassin II suffered the first loss of his career when Devin Haney outboxed him to win the WBO welterweight title. That defeat forced Norman to rethink many things, including serious decisions about his future in boxing. From this moment of reflection, Norman looks at the Lopez vs. Stevenson fight in a very specific way. He supports Stevenson, focusing strongly on mental strength and discipline. Norman believes Stevenson is not distracted by the crowd or outside pressure and stays fully locked in on winning. While he respects Lopez's talent, athleticism, and skills, Norman feels Stevenson's patience and calm mindset will ultimately decide the fight.
Let's talk about some of the current events in boxing, man. We got one of the biggest fights happening and announced already. Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, end of this month. What you think, man? How you see that, man? Give me the expert breakdown, man.
I think that's gonna be a wonderful fight, to be real with you, but I feel like Shakur gonna pull it off. And the reason being is because of discipline. Like, you look at Shakur as a whole, he don't care about getting booed. He don't care about anything like that. He care about winning. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Look, y'all looking at him, ready to watch him fight again versus Teofimo. But no matter what, who hand was raised. So I feel like Shakur gonna get that. And Teo, I ain't trying to take nothing from him. I feel like he's a great fighter as well, very athletic, very talented, and skillful as well. But I just feel like the patience of Shakur is what's gonna do it. Not necessarily anything, I won't say anything else at all, just straight up patience of Shakur. He don't mind just stealing you off on one and just moving. He don't mind. Yeah. And I feel like that's gonna make Teofimo more eager and overzealous. He was trying to force it. Yeah. So I think that's where Shakur will try to take advantage. Shakur may be on trying to be on some pressure stuff, like you seen. Yeah, you seen. So maybe he trying to prove a point as well. So it's really a toss-up, but for the most part, I'm leaning towards Shakur.
Roy Jones Jr. shared his fight breakdown in his usual straight-to-the-point style. The legendary 4-division champion believes Lopez must take real risks if he wants to give Stevenson his first loss. Jones does not see any way for Lopez to win by trying to box safely from the outside. He explains that Stevenson's sharp technique, fast hands, and strong defense make him extremely hard to hit cleanly from a distance. Because of this, Jones says Lopez must be willing to step into dangerous exchanges. That means accepting some punishment so he can land his own powerful shots. In the end, Jones believes the fighter who wants the win more and is willing to push harder will be the one who finds a way to take control of the fight.
Stylistically, man, how does Shakur beat Teo and vice versa? Stylistically, how does Teo beat Shakur?
Stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble. He got to take some, get some, and that's his only way to win. If he stays outside of boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best feet in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's going to be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
Aiden Ross joined the discussion by backing his words with action, placing a $10,000 bet on Lopez to win. Terrence Crawford quickly accepted the bet and showed full confidence in Stevenson. Crawford did not hesitate in his prediction, saying Stevenson will put on a boxing clinic and clearly control the fight from start to finish. The welterweight champion used strong and colorful words to explain that Stevenson's style is a puzzle Lopez will not be able to solve.
Let's bet 10K on it.
Bet.
Great.
Bet.
Will, who do you think's gonna win?
Who is this?
Tio and Shakur. They're fighting next month at Barclays. I'm be there. You'll be there?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I get to see your live reaction when I take your money.
Little bro walking away with that. You gonna see.
Nah, Shakur is not to be, but Tio's good.
Tio's good for what he do, but he's getting washed.
Nah, come on.
He's getting washed.
Abel Sanchez spoke about worries that this highly anticipated fight might not be exciting for fans. He understands the concern that two very skilled fighters could end up in a slow, tactical battle with more caution than action. Still, Sanchez is hopeful that Lopez will take the role of the attacker and push the pace of the fight. He believes Lopez knows he must move forward and create exchanges. If both fighters simply wait and watch each other, Sanchez says the fight could become boring and disappoint everyone who paid to see it.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you in, he wants to counterpunch. He's gonna have to be a different guy this time. He's gonna have to attack. He's gonna have to be leading the fight, or else it's gonna be a boring fight. I don't think it'll be a boring fight, but if he sits back and waits for Shakur's gonna wait for him, then it's not gonna be exciting. But I think Teofimo will attack. I think Teofimo has to attack. I think Teofimo has to do what Zepeda did, except for Teofimo's a lot more talented than Zepeda was.
Tim Bradley shared his thoughts on YouTube, and he sides with Stevenson. While he admits Lopez has physical advantages, the former two-division champion praised Stevenson's skill at following game plans and shutting down opponents' strengths with smart positioning and solid defense. Bradley describes Stevenson as a fighter who slowly frustrates his opponents by taking away their weapons and controlling the pace of each round. He's especially curious to see how Lopez reacts to someone who can outthink him in real time, and Bradley believes Stevenson's strategy will give him the win.
Tio, more so, I would say he's fast, explosive, and got that punching power, to hurt you, he can sting you. Whereas Shakur is more so like, I would say quick thinker. Very decisive fighter, you know what I mean? With his movements, decisive with, all his moves, everything he does inside the ring, there's always like a purpose to it. He's always in the right position, to avoid a shot or to land a punch as well, And one of the things that I think is going to be a key thing in the fight, if they were to fight is how laser focused Shakur is, man. Shakur is one of those guys that can stay focused all night.
Ali Malignaggi uses his years of experience as a fighter and analyst to break down the fight. The former two-division champion and respected commentator admits this matchup is hard to predict. While he leans towards Stevenson, Malignaggi warns not to underestimate Lopez, especially when he faces challenges. He points out a pattern in Lopez's career. He often performs best when doubted and struggles under high expectations. This makes the fight very competitive. Malignaggi sees Stevenson as a true pound-for-pound top fighter, but he knows Lopez has the kind of talent that could upset that path.
You want to give Shakur the edge, I do, but Teo is not something to play with, because when he's got his back to the wall, he becomes the most difficult guy to deal with, And he's got his best performances when people count him out. And then when people feel like he's going to win easily, he's got his worst performances. So this is one of those times where Teo could make it really, really interesting. Shakur, for me, is a possible pound-for-pound #1 at one time. But if there's a guy who could be a threat to him, it is Teo, because Teo has that little bit of difference-making ability.
Is it a 60-40 fight? Is it still close?
I mean, it's probably 60-40, maybe even higher, but that's a live 30 and 40 by Teofimo, because again, the way he shows up is very, very difficult and tricky.
but it's very rare for a fighter to fight in their prime nowadays. They're both, 28 years old. They're fighting in their prime.
Yeah.
You got to give a lot of respect to both of them, right?
Yeah, you do. And that's the problem. You don't see a lot of fights happening in the guys' primes. They milk the money and stuff like that. That's why I give these two guys credit.
Oiki Foster shares his view from personal experience, having sparred with Stevenson. Foster thinks Stevenson does his best when he has clear athletic advantages over opponents. But when that edge is gone, weaknesses show that smart fighters can take advantage of. He sees Lopez as someone who can match, or even beat, Stevenson in athletic ability, while also having real power that Stevenson must always respect. This means Stevenson could struggle if he can't rely on being naturally bigger and stronger in the fight.
You said, my opinion on him and Tio?
Yeah, do you think he beats him? Because essentially, if he beats him, I assume he would probably stay at 140 then.
Nah, styles make fights. I don't know. I don't really see. I think that's a bad style matchup for Shakur.
Really? You're like the 10th person that's told me this. I kid you not. Like, it's just because I know the obvious people will be like, Shakur's undefeated. He's a defensive fighter. Tio's kind of struggled with the boxer, but I've just talked to someone again today. Like, everyone favors kind of like Tio for some reason, just from what I've talked to. So why is that? Because you sparred Shakur, and I guess you would know better. So I mean,
Shakur, he likes to be the most athletic guy in the ring. When he's not, he has problems. Shakur kinda, he's a right-hander fighting out of southpaw stance. So when you meet guys like that's athleticism that fight with their strong hand in the back, you're gonna have to rely on more than just your jab and the rangefinder. You know what I mean? Like, you tell me, do he got a solid left hand?
I mean, I haven't been punched.
You seen him throw it. You seen him throw it, but you've never seen him hurt or knock nobody out with it. So I just think when you meet certain guys, that's why I say the style. You meet certain guys, you're gonna have to rely on both of them things, both of them hands. You know what I mean? And I just think it's a bad style matchup for him.
Lamont Roach Jr. shared his prediction soon after his own controversial draw with Isaac Cruz in his super lightweight debut. The former super featherweight champion thinks Stevenson will win easily because of his smarter boxing. Roach says their ring IQs are not even close and points to Lopez's close fight with Sandor Martin as proof he can struggle against skilled boxers. Lopez's upset loss to George Kambosos Jr. also shows he can have mental lapses that cost him when facing opponents who don't fight his way.
He a little cuckoo too, like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while.
So who do you think wins that fight between him and Teofimo Lopez if they fight?
I think Shakur wins. And I don't think it's going to be like a super tough fight either. His IQ will frustrate him.
Don't you think Tio has also good ring IQ and also is slick, fast?
I think so, but when you look at Tio's performances against guys that are just pure boxers, it's just like he almost lost to Sandor Martin. Some people thought he lost to Sandor Martin.
He did beat Loma, who's arguably at the time considered one of the best in the world.
He did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I mean, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like, that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win. And he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just, I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to like, cause it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur up, and it's probably not going to work.
Amir Khan favors Lopez because he knows firsthand how powerful and versatile he is. Khan believes Lopez can turn up his intensity when needed and wonders if Stevenson has faced anyone with both Lopez's speed and strength. Moving up in weight adds extra pressure for Stevenson, who must prove his skills work just as well against naturally bigger fighters at super lightweight this January.
The fight between Stevenson and Lopez, what a fight. Who wins that? Lopez. You think Stevenson? Lopez is a very good fighter, bro. I've trained with him, I've heard him on the pod. He bangs hard. He's a good all-round boxer, slick. A lot of people don't give him the credit for how good of a boxer he is. Look, he's the type of guy I know about Lopez is that when he has to turn it up, he turns it up. And I think with someone like Shakur, he will have to turn it up big time. And obviously Shakur, we've not really seen him in the deep end. Look at Lopez. He's fought the likes of Lomachenko. He's beaten some great names on the way.
Got it? Give me the paragraph you want me to rewrite, and I'll turn it into simple 5th grade English, keeping the meaning and tone, and making it slightly shorter if possible.